Upcoming elections are looming not only in the United States, but also in several other countries. Not entirely without reason, all the media speak of a super election year. Not only the election in the USA is eagerly awaited, but there are also court cases against the challenger Donald Trump this year. But Joe Biden had also recently been criticized for his advanced age. All this is happening against the backdrop of the wars in Gaza and Ukraine, where there are few successes to report. President Noboa also declared a state of emergency in Ecuador in order to take tougher action against the drug cartels in the country. A lot of challenges the new would-to-be leaders of the world have to deal with. In one factory, the majority of workers spoke out against the formation of a union, which can be helpful in labor disputes. The factory in question belongs to Christopher Brinner, the head of Brinner Information Systems, BIS for short. BIS has played a major role in the introduction of interface technology, which is characteristic for many of the touch terminals installed, for example, in refrigerators, which are connected to the internet. The responsible company, Interface Operations, is a subsidiary of BIS. Brinner also owns his own streaming news portal called Channel 90. Christopher Brinner himself has become one of the richest people in the world due to this advancements, but he ranks far behind the 10th place on the Forbes top list of the richest men in the world and is therefore not a threat to Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. But as is well known, where there is light, there is also shadow, and so Brinner and his company were often exposed to criticism about poor salary and working conditions. Brinner has now preempted this criticism by pushing for the vote on the unionization. In my factories, there are good working conditions compared to others, so there is no need for a union, Brinner had always said. The result of the vote now seems to prove him right. An overwhelming majority in his factory voted against forming a union. This should finally take this issue off the table for BIS. On January 19th, a Japanese probe landed on the Earth's satellite, the Moon, making Japan the fifth nation to make a soft moon landing. The landing took place near the automated lunar base, which was established a few years ago. Nevertheless, interest in space research has waned somewhat due to crises on Earth, such as the corona pandemic, despite Sean Christopher's successful Saturn mission in 2020. However, this is not the only space mission coming up this year. The Europa mission is scheduled to start in April, which, to quote mission commander Dr. Musa, will take people further than ever before. The destination of this mission is Jupiter's titular moon Europa, and many nations are involved in this project, including the United States, Australia, Canada, China, the Czech Republic, Egypt, Germany, Ghana, Great Britain, Kazakhstan, Lebanon, India, Nigeria, Peru, Russia, Scotland, and South Korea. Not only was the project on shaky financial ground, some countries often threatened to leave it, such as Russia, which has now almost completely withdrawn from the project after the ongoing war in Ukraine and Western sanctions. The launch is scheduled for mid-April with the Shango, a rocket equipped with one of the new fusion engines introduced last year. Nevertheless, the journey will not be a walk in the park and will take between 3 and 4 years. This is followed by a rather short window of time on the moon before returning to Earth to guide the crew safely back home. Of course, Musa's statement should be taken with a grain of salt, because the Saturn mission, which was launched in 2020, will probably reach its destination 1 month after the Shango's launch, and thus be further away than the mission to Europa. What the brave astronauts will discover, however, remains exciting either way. The Europa mission will start in April, after a gala, and of course we will report on it.